all these people who are really famous or celebrities to the outside world, they're craving meaningful relationships just like we all are. They probably are just
want realness,
want a real person, like gonna shoot them straight, like
I can light a spark and still be in the dark.
Welcome into the podcast, another episode of Living Large. I apologize right off the bat for missing a few episodes. I was working on my music release, which you guys heard in the intro, No Love in LA. It's out now. Go stream it. I'll link it down below. But today's episode is with Matt Komo, a huge inspiration of mine in the film and photography world. He's been doing this stuff for a very long time. He started off working at Gopro, then he worked for the Chainsmokers. Now he's working on movies. He's someone that I look up to in the industry. And if you guys enjoy my videos, you guys are going to enjoy his a lot more because he's extremely talented. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Matt Komo, an inspiration of mine in the film world.
Thanks, brother.
One of the people that got me into film, behind Casey Neistat, Devin Supertramp. And then I saw your stuff, and I saw Sam and Taylor Cut Films. You kind of like immersed yourself. I think you started more so as like that travel videographer type editor, right?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it kind of coincided with the job I had at the time. So
you worked at GoPro.
I worked at GoPro for almost 3 years.
How did you land that job?
Well, I guess to give you the Spark Notes version, I got denied from it twice, actually. I applied for an internship and didn't get it my senior year of college. And then I applied for a job on the ski and snowboard team, didn't get that as well. And then somehow my resume floated to the director of social at the time, and she called me and took a bet on me. And 2 weeks after I graduated, I moved up to San Francisco and started working there.
Where'd you go to college?
Chapman University.
Where's that?
It's in Orange County. It's like right near Disneyland.
And you're born and raised here, yeah?
Yeah, Orange County.
Okay.
Yeah, went to film school there.
How did you, were you excited when you got GoPro, I'm sure?
Oh my, yeah, it's a dream job.
Yeah,
100%.
And, what was it like living in San Francisco? Because I've actually never even been there, so I'm curious.
I really didn't like it at first, to be honest. But now that I've moved out of there and I've been in LA for the last bit of time, I actually miss it quite a bit sometimes. It's a lot more laid back. The culture there, everybody's very outdoorsy. They ride bikes, they go out, they do like outdoor activities.
Right.
That's not so much the case here.
Yeah, I think the leisurely activities here are like going to the club.
Yeah,
and
for sure. That's
doing
like
Molly at Coachella.
Yeah.
But what did your start come in film, like videography at first, or was it more so photography? What got your start into like the creative field?
See, that's probably like the most common misconception if you follow me or you know who I am through like YouTube and digital platforms is, a travel videographer. It's kind of like how my accounts blew up. But like I mentioned, I went to film school for 4 years, have a traditional background, and studied to be a DP, so a cinematographer. So I understand everything about cameras, lenses, lighting, from a traditional set standpoint. Got the job at GoPro. That was a dream for me. So then I took a departure from the traditional Hollywood world, so to speak. And because I was traveling the world with the company, I just took advantage of those opportunities and filmed a lot of content in addition to what I was supposed to do there for myself as well, posted online, and it just, right place, right time, it blew up.
So why, when you're like, your dream job was being a cinematographer, a DP, why would you take a job at GoPro when that it's so far away? Like you're shooting on a little tiny camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, one of my big inspirations when I first started to get into film was watching skate videos, snowboard videos, and I was really into snowboarding. And the first two launch reels that GoPro came out with for like Hero 2, Hero 3, and then Hero 4, I was just like jaw dropped by those.
Like at the time, that was crazy.
Oh yeah, you remember that's like when Twixtor was just a thing, and like you're seeing all these crazy slow-mo effects, and I wanted to work there. That was it, So I always knew I'd come back here and, I'd jump back into more of a traditional form of film, but it was a good thing to do at the time.
What is it that you're working on now? Because I know you did that for a minute, and you kind of did get grouped in my perspective to like the Taylor Cut Films.
Yeah, of course, which is fine.
I got grouped into that group of people.
Yeah, totally.
Is that something that you don't like to be associated with, or is that something you're trying to break away from?
No, that's totally fine. I think it's great. It definitely exposed my work to a ton of people.
Right.
A lot of kids who want to get into the business, so to speak. I guess to answer your question, is it my career trajectory and path? No.
Yeah.
Is it a blip in the radar in my early 20s? It's like really fun to do. Yeah, for sure.
Because I think I there was a time period where the colder cut and like whatever that transition shit was a big thing. And I would meet videographers that wanted to work for me, and they'd be like, yeah, like send me your work, and they would just emulate you guys.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They would be like, all right, I've seen Matt Komo do this literally like 2 years ago. Like they would really emulate your work. What is it like? What's the next level for you? Like, what's your next step? Because I know that you kind of evolved from more of that like filming things that are happening to like telling a story. Like your whole. I remember you sat down at like a piano and you had like a really good storytelling. You're kind of shifting it, I would say, and we'll get into this. I have so many things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
You're shifting it from more of like, okay, I film these videos to like you're becoming the star of the videos while directing the videos while editing the videos. So you're getting to like showcase your personality now and encompass all of your talents.
Right. So I guess there's I think 2 questions you asked, and the first one is like, what's kind of the next move? And it's telling longer stories. So for example, I have a short film that comes out in probably around March and April of this year. That'll be around 15-ish minutes, follows a 3-act structure, and is, a full piece. I think that's a kind of.
Did you write that or did you direct it?
Yeah, I wrote and directed. It's completely self-funded. That's what's next for me. I eventually would love to make big blockbuster films within the next 10, 15, 20 years, hopefully. So this is kind of just like the early stepping stone to eventually doing that.
Is that why people do short films? Like, because here's my question about a short film. You're not going to make any money off of it. Is it kind of just to like, okay, here's what I can do in a short 15 minutes to like, say like Fox has some money or Disney has some money. It's like, I want to film your movie. Is that kind of what the purpose of a short film is?
I mean, it depends. I think with any art form, you just need to have at-bats, so to speak, and you need to learn how to do what you're trying to do. So what I'm trying to say is that doing a YouTube travel video that's really hype is completely polar opposite than having a 3-act structure with characters and actual character development and arcs. So for me, this was kind of more of a experiment to see, 1, can I do it? And 2, just to, be more knowledgeable of that, because it's very similar to like the GoPro thing for me. It was a combination of right place, right time, but it was also a combination of preparation and talent meeting the right place at the right time. So, I just look at the next 5, 10, 15 years. And if my goal is to direct these big films, I need to be putting in the work now so that if opportunity does come knocking in some weird, shape or form, I can perform, so.
How old are you?
26.
Okay. Does like, since you start off, I guess, using the camera, do you want to be a DP still, or do you want to be a director?
Director, for sure.
And why is that?
Because I like to see the vision all the way through. I think a lot of just being a DP, like obviously you're in charge of, setting the entire mood for a film or a music video, and you're really establishing the look, and it's such an integral part to the film. But it kind of just stops there at the look and the visual emotion that you're portraying. I want to be in charge of the story from the beginning to the delivery at the end.
Do you have a production company?
I mean, I have a LLC.
Like you, yeah, right? Yeah. I've always wondered this. There's so many of you guys that are so talented.
Yeah.
Why have you guys not like gotten together and like built a production company? And like, because I know you guys all do a lot of separate stuff for companies. Yeah. Like you've done a lot of branded stuff, right? Like commercials and shit.
Yeah.
Think about all your guys' talents coming together into one production company and going to an Audi and a BMW and saying, hey, here's our talent. Like, look at stuff we've done. Right. Why not get $100,000 budget and do a commercial? Why haven't you guys done that?
I don't know. I've definitely thought about it quite a bit. And I mean, the only thing I can really think about or come back to with that question is it's a competitive space. And I think that like if you look at it in the lens of the music industry, for example, it's mutually beneficial to collaborate with somebody. You know, like you have a record and then you have a feature on it. You know, you're both tapping into each other's audiences. If I could take a guess on why that doesn't work or isn't applicable to what you're asking is, I think it's because it's not mutually beneficial. You know what I mean? Where you're kind of jockeying for the same amount of work. Okay. So I could imagine a lot of people just want it for themselves.
Because this is something I'm trying to figure out. Why does it work in music where it's like, okay, you feature me on a track, great, like cool, like that's good for both of us.
Right.
But then you have like the Team 10, which completely failed.
Right.
You have all these people trying to, and then like basically what I'm saying is build a Team 10 of videographers.
Right.
Do you think it has to do with like what do you think that reason is? Is it like an ego thing? Do you think?
I think it's an element of that. Yeah, for sure.
And do you think that it works with music because they have so many higher ups controlling them? Why do you think it works with music and not with video and not with social media creators?
It's a really good question. I think ego is probably an element of it. And I think a lot of people, whether you're a photographer, videographer, director, I think they're inherently very, very protective of their client base. Mm-hmm. And to just kind of like, you know, give that connection off is, probably not their first option, so to speak.
Right. Because I think, I mean, dude, there could be so many successful people if they just like they did form a correct Team 10, but like obviously you can't have like you can't have someone that's running the company be part of the friendship.
Right.
I guess you're saying.
And what's tricky too is you're either very artistically gifted or you're very business gifted.
Yeah.
It's very, very rare that you find both. And even somebody who does possess both qualities, it's incredibly difficult to switch back and forth rapidly, daily, right? So you're going to need the team of creatives and artistic types, and then you're going to need a team to just run the business in and of itself. So it's kind of complex.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of parties involved. Mm-hmm. Do you think that social media and the rise of social media personalities, for example, like vloggers and Instagram comedians and whatnot, did that shift the way that you created your videos?
No, not at all.
No?
And it still doesn't. I mean, you've known me for a couple of years now. Do you think it has? Mm-mm. Yeah, no.
But I'm saying like I would typically watch, I'm trying to remember some of your earlier videos. Like, did you used to be in your videos at all?
Yeah, I've always been in my videos. Yeah? Mm.
But you haven't always told stories, have you? Like that you're telling now?
I mean, not that I'm telling now. I think the early YouTube days, it was definitely just like cool stuff with cool music.
What made you want to be more personal? I think you talk about your grandpa in a video and stuff.
Yeah. That's what the short film's about, is my grandpa. But, I think people need to be able to identify with you. And the only way they can identify with you is if you're vulnerable and you speak your own truth, and I just have never tried to be somebody that I'm not.
Right.
Like ever. I'm the same on camera as I am off camera, Mm-hmm. So,
that's actually very, very true.
Yeah.
It's like when I vlog, I put on like the, whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
Like in my podcast mode, I'm just like chilling, talking.
Yeah. I'm just the same.
You're the same. Yeah.
No matter what I'm doing. Shoot. What was that? What was the question again? I just lost my train of thought.
I think it was kind of like what influenced you to be more personal.
As you're probably also now finding out when you're putting music out, it's nice to have a support system where people buy into your vision, they buy into you as a person. So no matter what you do, whether you're doing film or you transition over to, making records, people will like it. So, I've kind of just, it's important. It's important.
That's dope. Do you want to talk about the short film a little bit? What's it about? Or is it too early in the stages? You don't want to know?
No, I can talk about it.
And what that process was like, because it's much more taxing to do a 15-minute video than a 3-minute video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, to kind of just run it back really, really shortly, it's about my grandfather, who is in the very severe stages of dementia right now.
My grandma passed away from that.
Yeah, it's the worst thing in the world.
Fucking the worst, bro.
Yeah. So it's the story about his life, him meeting his wife. Her name was Violet. She died of cancer, unfortunately, when they were around like 55, 60 years old. him developing the disease, and then the implications that it has on not only himself but also the family around him. So I originally had like the seed of the idea last December, not like 2 months ago, but like a year-ish ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, just life gets in the way. This music video comes up, I'm moving apartments, I'm traveling, and like just things just start running again. And it got till around like June or July. And I just, you know, was just running at such a fast pace, and, you know, he's not getting any better.
Right.
And I just told myself back then, I'm like, if I don't stop and do this now, I will regret it for the rest of my life. If, you know, unfortunately he passed and I didn't get the chance to do it. So it took me about 2.5 months to write the piece. We shot it in October, did a pickup day in December, and now I'm just in the editing stages of it.
Is he starring in it?
He's in it, yeah.
Oh, so it's not really like a short film. It's more of like a doc. Or no?
It's hard to explain. It's like kind of a hybrid. It's a hybrid of a kind of like a doc, but it's also a narrative. I take him to like this art installation at the end. Like there's a lot involved.
Like, does he have lines?
He doesn't have lines. I don't really know how to describe it. You'll just have to see it.
Yeah, I'm
very
excited.
interesting.
I mean, I'll definitely be interested because, like I said, that's something that's close to me. That's really interesting. I'm sure my mom would really love it. Did you ever see the video of like the mom at Wendy's?
No.
You should watch it. It's like a son goes and he takes his mom to Wendy's and he's like sitting there talking to his mom. And she's sitting across from him. He's like, hey, like, do you know who your son is? And like, he's the son. And she's like, no. He's like, you don't know who your son is? And she's like, no. He's like, what's my name? She's like, I don't know. She had no idea who her own son was, like sitting across. And that's what happens, guys. I don't know if you guys have ever been exposed to like Alzheimer's is what it ultimately is. When you're like, but I think they can't diagnose that until you pass away. Like you have dementia when you're alive and then is Alzheimer's. I don't know. I don't know the specifics, but it's scary, dude.
Yeah.
Especially for the people around you. Cause it's like my grandma had it for like a long time.
So the third act of the film is I built him an art installation. So to explain it, imagine you're 90 and someone looked at your life and they took all the significant things within it and they put it in a room for you to like see, sick. Touch, feel, and experience.
Did he react?
We'll see. So that's the magic of the film is I didn't know if it was going to work. So we went through I spent all this money, the whole thing self-funded, got, you know, teams of people together to make this and build this thing. So we had like this living room from the 30s. We had this old setup from like the Korean War. Used to be a barber. We had like this barber chair, like all this stuff. And then the final bit of the film had this artist paint this 6 foot tall by 4 foot wide portrait of his wife. He gets through the end, all the lights go down. We pull the curtain on it, and it's just him and his wife. And the beauty and the magic of the film is that he starts to remember, and he starts like talking about her, and he starts blowing her kisses, and like the ethos of the film at this point, and what you realize is that, you know, if you have a disease, it takes away everything from you, you know, almost every single memory, but something sticks, and the things that sticks is the love he's had for his family, his wife, and, you know, the people closest to him. Then that goes to show you that's probably what's the most important thing in life. I know when I have a vision that I really want everything to go how my vision is. For that part, when you pulled down the thing, did you have an expectation for how you wanted him to react? I did. I did, of course, but I also like, it's funny you say that because I think about 15 minutes before we got to that part, because we took him through the whole thing and then we had a setup for that because there's a different lighting setup. I like took a breath to myself and I was like, okay, like if this works out, great. If it doesn't, like I'm so proud of myself that we still did this, you know, and we'll roll with the punches.
And I think even if, as much as like you want that, I don't know what happened, we'll have to wait and see, but as much as you want that thing to happen for the purpose of your story and the purpose of your film, I think there's beauty in like if he doesn't remember who his wife is, you know, like there's beauty, like that just goes to show you like the severity of the
it,
disease,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And
then the story just shifts. Then
the story shifts. Were you open to that, or
I'm receptive to it. Yeah.
Because I think that's one of the hardest things for me is like when I have a vision and things aren't happening how I want them to happen, I get very frustrated. Did you feel a lot of pressure or more
more of that, like things need to go according to plan for the fact that your own money out of your own pocket was behind the project? How did you feel about that?
Yes. And I don't know how to say this in like I don't know the right words, but like, you know, I've done this a lot, you know, made films my whole life. So I'm extremely confident when I'm going into a project. So, you know, it felt like that. As far as what I had to do to execute to get it done, I was more so worried about the variable of having my just grandfather there. Right. You know, like the whole time, like, okay, am I going to be able to get a 10-hour day out of him? Mm-hmm. Honestly, probably not. You know, and like, is he going to be up to do like 3 takes of something? Like, I have no idea. You know, and I'm spending thousands and thousands of dollars, and I have all these people out there, and like something as simple as him not feeling good could just like
ruin it.
Yeah, ruin the whole day. Yeah. So like that's mostly what I was concerned about. But what was crazy is like he put in a 12-hour day.
How is that? Because I mean, I don't know what stage of dementia your grandfather's in, but like I'm thinking about my grandma. My grandma couldn't talk. She couldn't feed herself. She couldn't go to the bathroom. Like, the disease basically turns you back into a baby. Right. Was he, like, when you told him to do stuff, was he doing it? How did that? Like, so for and also, did you film behind the scenes? Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, we have a ton of behind the scenes. Yeah. Well, so for example, like there's this one bit where we have this journal that we made for him, and I needed him to like rub his hand like over this like engraving of it, and I would ask him to do it, and he just couldn't do it. So then I would have to take his hand and be like, hey, can you do this for me? And you know, like just very slow, and the simplest of task probably took 5 times as long as I thought it would. So that's kind of like that's insane.
So I mean, it's important to me, and like, you know, it was a lot of money and a lot of time, but so far it's been the most fulfilling thing I've ever done.
Of course, I think anything you put your own money behind is always going to be like your most passionate project. Yeah. And your family's going to love it too once it's finished, and they're going to all cry their fucking eyes out. Why did you decide to use your actual grandfather and not an actor?
Mostly because the original seed of the idea was doing the art installation.
Got it.
And it was at its infant stage, the experiment of, if I bombard, for lack of a better word, somebody with everything in their life that would potentially trigger a memory, like what would actually happen? Right. And the only way to test that is to actually use my grandpa. Yeah. And then I built a whole story around it, a whole film around it.
What was the most expensive thing you had to spend, just in terms of like budgeting?
People, cameras. Yeah. The location was expensive. We filmed in the same place they filmed The Dark Knight, like Batman's cave.
Garage.
Yeah. Filmed there. I mean, that's like, you know, a couple thousand, 4,000 or 5,000 a day or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knowing people is for sure the hookup.
I had a lot of friends come through. Yeah. Big time.
When I shot my music video, I shot it actually where like a lot of people shoot music videos. My buddy owns it, did it for free, but he's like, yeah, dude, like people pay like $10,000 a day for this place.
It's crazy.
I'm like,
well, the 4,000 a day was a heavy discount, because like everything that we, even for cameras, like we bartered as much as we could, like me and my producer, and we're like, listen, like, you probably have 1 million music videos coming through the door, you know, all these Hollywood productions. I'm like, we're trying to make a piece about, you know, to promote awareness for this disease. This is the story. I had a whole pitch deck about it, why I'm doing it. Like, if you can cut us a favor, great. If not, like, no worries.
How didn't you get in? Did you try to get funding or no?
No. I didn't. No? I just want to do it. I don't want any red tape. You know what? Like, I've saved my money enough and I've done well enough. I'm just going to do it. I don't want to wait for anyone.
Yo, guys, I interrupt this episode of the podcast to let you know that this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. It is their 3rd time coming back to the podcast, so I got to thank them. If you guys are battling anything and you need someone to talk to, BetterHelp is the way to go. They have counselors, and you can start in under 24 hours. And if you're not happy with your counselor, you can always switch at any time you want to. I've always said it. It's important to talk to someone and get out those emotions, get stuff that's weighing off your shoulders. And sometimes you don't want to do that to your friends or your family. You don't want to weigh them down. Maybe it's about them. It's always good to talk to someone that offers an unbiased opinion that's not involved in the situation. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's just professional counseling done securely online. You can talk to them at any point in time during the day. Visit their website and read their testimonies that are posted daily. Visit betterhelp.com/Tumen. That's better, BETTERHELP.com/TWOMEN and join the over 500,000 people taking charge of their mental health with the help of BetterHelp. Special offer for you guys, 10% off your first month if you guys go to betterhelp.com/Tumen.
But let's shift gears here. Short film's coming out.
Yes.
But a lot of things that set you up for that short film. You work with a lot of artists. I saw you with Tiesto recently. You've done a lot of shit with the Chainsmokers. How did you get kind of in that world? Because it's such a crazy thing, because me being from Ohio, right, I see that. I see like Matt Komo's hanging out with the fucking Chainsmokers and like all these guys. Like, I never would think, and now I am too, right?
Yeah.
I'm at their fucking parties.
I've seen you at Drew's house.
Yeah, I'm at their parties and shit. But like being from Ohio, I would never think that I could go to LA and like become friends with like celebrities.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
I think it's just a product of what I do for a living.
Yeah.
I'm provide a lot of value to a lot of these artists, and I think that's pretty much it. And then you become friends with them. So like you become a trusted, reliable resource for them to use for music videos, for tour videos, and they're like, I like keeping this kid around. Right. All right, I like being around.
Is that because we were talking about this before the podcast started? How does that? Because you don't see every day like someone who's filming someone's music video, like they're hired, right? Like they're like, oh hey, I'm gonna hire you, come film my video, see you later.
Right.
You guys, like your group of people, you shoot videos and then like you put the camera down and you're like, yo, let's have some beers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
How did you develop that type of relationship? Because it's not common to like mix business with pleasure.
Right. I think it's just up to the artist's discretion, to be honest. And it just seems like I mostly navigate in like the electronic EDM world, and most of those guys are just really down to earth, like just people like you and I,
right.
They just happen to be their art form. They just happen to be really famous from it. So, and like the thing is, and you're probably starting to realize too, once you live here, all these people are really famous or celebrities to the outside world. They're craving meaningful relationships, just like we all are. And, sometimes like, I'm not less celebrity or like anything. Right. They probably are just
want realness,
want a real person, like gonna shoot them straight, and like, so that's just who I am.
Yeah. I think I think a lot of people out here, because there's always that thought, I think, in a celebrity's head that like, what does this person want from me when I meet them? You know what I'm saying? And like to find people that are genuine and literally don't want anything. They just want to have fun and hang out and like build those relationships.
Well, I think the other thing is too, is like for someone like myself and a lot of my peers who are filmmakers, there's an immense amount of value that like my skill set can provide to them and their business. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship. They all need visual content for what they're doing. So why not go with somebody they actually trust and like to be around?
Right.
I mean, that's who I'd hire.
Yeah, 100%. And like a down to earth, like.
Yeah, exactly.
When did you quit your job at GoPro?
January 2018.
And why did you quit?
I was 20.
Also, before we get into the GoPro, is everything filmed on GoPros?
Yes, 100%.
Actually?
100%. Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's, for sure.
Okay. Because I've always wondered.
I get asked that a lot, actually.
Because I film on my GoPro and it doesn't look as fucking good as your damn GoPro commercials.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You guys manipulate the settings.
We do.
Well, you guys shooting some weird ass like 4x3 shit, right?
4x3, and then there's a plugin called Andy's Elastic that stretches it to 16:9.
And what does that do? Why does it make it look so much better?
Well, so 4x3, you have more vertical resolution. So if you're mounting it to like a ski or a snowboard or a surfboard, you have more of the surfer, skier, snowboarder in the frame. Mm-hmm. Generally, you can get their whole body. And then because now the sides are a bit condensed, what that plugin does is it just takes, you set the boundaries. So you would set the safe places where the person is, and then you expand the edges.
Why can't they just make the camera do that? I don't understand.
Something with the field of view and the sensor probably.
Got it.
But now with the new 360 camera, that's like not even a thing anymore.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But continue. Why did you quit?
So I was 24. I started working there when I was 21 and spent 3 years there. And I learned a ton, an absolute ton. I traveled the entire world, and I was getting a lot of opportunities to, dabble in the music industry, which was like very interesting to start going on tour and do music videos. And, it was just a good transition for me. I wanted to move out of San Francisco and be in LA. And I could make a lot more money. Right. Doing my own thing. So it kind of just like, I will always look back at those 3 years and be incredibly grateful for it. It was a really good time.
With GoPro and with the music, you were on the road a lot. What's that like? Like the life on the road?
I had to pull myself off the road this year, or I guess last year technically. 2018, I was on the road over 200 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's just brutal. It's so brutal. One, you don't get into routine. It's hard to work out. Like hotel gyms are not great. Mm-hmm. You don't really have a sense of a foundation. No sense of home. You don't see your friends as much. But as much as those are the negatives, the inverse is that you are getting a ton of life experience. You get to see the world. So there's trade-offs,
Right.
But it was just too much for me.
I always wonder, because I'm releasing my first song in 2 years, whatever, on January 31st. And I've like heard it over like 100 times already, obviously, because I've been there for writing it and the production and filming the video and editing it. And I feel like being a musician, a touring musician, is probably one of the hardest jobs that people don't understand. Like, think about playing your song every fucking night for a year straight.
Yeah.
Singing it every single night. Like, it's no wonder to me, like, as fucked up as it is, like, a lot of musicians, like, get fucked up in the head or do drugs or do all these things because, like, that life on the road is, like...
It's brutal, yeah.
It's not sustainable.
No.
And as much as... And people, like, look out from the outside and they're like, oh, that's fucking sick. Like, what are you complaining about? You get paid millions of dollars to, like, travel the world. But, like, dude, you're sleeping on planes and you're going from show... Like, the Chainsmokers, they'll be playing a show in fucking Cincinnati, and then they got to go do their residency in Vegas the night of.
Yeah.
It's like they'll finish the show at 11 p.m. in Cincy, hop on the jet, and go on the stage at Vegas at 2 a.m. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
How do you maintain... Because for me, I can't... When I travel, gym isn't even an option. Like, that, I can't eat healthy when I'm on the road. I can't go to the gym. Like, it's horrible. How do you maintain like a healthy lifestyle, or how did you? Did you ever dive into like? Did you ever lose yourself?
I think we all lose ourselves to a certain extent. It's just how far you off the deep end you go.
Right.
I mean, I'm innately love to work out.
Yeah, you're one of the 5:30 a.m.ers.
Oh yeah, I'm going tomorrow at 5:30. Yeah, it's just what I do.
How do you do that? Because I do it as well.
I set an alarm and get my ass up.
But what made you want to do that? Like, what is your reasoning for waking up so early? Because I have my reasons.
I just I live a very fortunate life, and I am very aware of the circumstances of just being born into like a good family and everything that's led up to this point. And I just always tell myself, if I didn't take advantage of all the opportunities in front of me and I didn't get up and I didn't work hard, I would be wasting all the potential I could potentially have. So I just do it. And like that, I've done it for years now. So it's not even a thing anymore. So yeah.
But dude, I don't understand. Here's what I don't understand about you. Like last night you post and you're always posting like you're editing late as fuck. I don't know how you do that one.
That's one of the most creative,
late?
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'm like, I go to bed at like 11:30.
Gotcha.
But are you going to bed at like 1:30 and waking up at 5:30?
Sometimes, yeah.
No nap?
This morning, so last night I put in a session until about 3, and I have a gym partner, and his name's Kyle, that we work out of the West Hollywood Equinox, and we were going to do a 5:30, and I pushed it to 8 because I needed some rest. So it depends. Not every morning is a 5:30, but yeah, it depends. It depends. But I always wake up and work out. That's like at least
every day?
4 or 5 days a week. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take days off, of course. Weekends I'll sleep in if I'm not traveling or whatnot.
That's so crazy to me. I mean, my reason for 5:30 a.m. was like, basically I wanted to start my day with no distractions.
That too. Yeah.
It's like no one's texting you that early.
It's great. It's
no one's posting on the gram. Like there's literally nothing to look at.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you go to the gym, you don't have a phone call. I mean, sometimes my family calls me, but like
you don't meditate, do you?
No.
Yeah,
do you meditate?
No.
Oh,
I literally can't, dude. I can't at all.
Bro, I don't get it.
Is my meditation.
Yeah, same here. And I'll throw on like a nice motivational video or some music or whatever. But like, I don't understand this whole fucking phase of meditation and like sitting there with your thoughts. It's such a LA thing.
I'm not going to lie. I've tried. I've definitely tried to meditate, but I just, dude, I can't. Like you can't shut your mind literally off. A second and a half goes by and I'm thinking of something. I'm like, this is just not for me. So
what's outside of like the videos and outside of editing and all the creative stuff, what are some of your interests, like hobby wise? Or what do you, when you're not like, when you're like, fuck, I don't want to edit anymore, like what are you gonna go do besides the gym?
Music, dabbling in music, for sure, playing piano, guitar, things of that nature, hanging out with friends. This sounds super dumb, but I just love conversation and like deep conversation about things. So
like what?
Just like life in general. And
I'm very similar. I have certain friends where like I'll have like life talks with.
Yeah.
You know?
I just like to peel back like the curtain behind people a lot because like everybody has a facade that they're trying to put on who they are. And you just realize that once you get beyond that, everybody's the exact same. We all yearn for the same things. And I don't know, I thrive talking about a lot of those things. And I think that curiosity helps a lot of my filmmaking. Like, because in order to write characters and do all these things, you need to understand human psychology. So I don't know if that really answered your question. But
do you like study? Do you study a lot? Or
my God,
do you
yeah.
Still like to like learn?
Oh my God, yeah. Every single day. I
think that's something that I feel like when you graduate from like having to learn, I went through a period of time where I didn't learn. You know, I was like, fuck this. I don't want to read books. But then I read a book and I'm like, holy shit, like I feel so much smarter. Like I can talk about something that I actually understand. That's
the one thing I can say that I probably do more than anybody that I know is I read not as much as I should, but I ingest a lot of information from YouTube videos and master classes to whatever I can get my hands on, audiobooks daily for hours. Fall asleep to it, wake up, go to the gym, listen to stuff. Because I mean, anything you want to do in life, the only gap or bridge that you have to overcome is just knowing how to do the thing. Right. The information's out there.
Oh yeah, I learned how to do all my video shit on YouTube.
Just
like
takes
literally
time,
watching tutorials and shit. Do you indulge in anything? Like, do you binge Netflix? Do you?
Every once in a while, yeah. Movies for sure. Okay. Yeah,
I'm very into movies. I don't watch TV shows for shit. You got your head on your shoulders from my perspective, right?
Thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I think from a lot of people like watching me, they think that I have had my head on my shoulders this whole period of time, but I definitely like went through a phase where I didn't. Have you ever experienced anything like that, where you were lost, or you just, you know?
Of course.
You weren't you.
Of course, yeah.
What was that like, and how did you overcome it?
Well, I think it happened when I came to LA for probably the first time and being here for a bit.
What do you mean? Because you grew up here?
Well, I grew up in Orange County.
Not the same thing.
It's culturally in polar opposite.
Okay.
Orange County is very surfer, beachy, laid back type of vibe. It has nothing to do with fame, celebrities, everything associated with LA. And maybe I was just really naive to what LA was like. And there was a period of time there where I was like, this just can't be how the world moves. You know what I mean? Once you're on the inside and you see how things move, it's just like, this can't be it. And that like really shook me for a long time. But, you know, I do a lot of things to, you know, intentionally keep myself grounded and keep my head on my shoulders. I work out almost every single day. I go to church almost every single week. I stay close to my parents. I stay close to family, friends that I've known since college who like have been with me the whole time. Mm-hmm. I keep I audit like my circle that I'm around all the time, like very closely, to make sure that I have the right support system around me. So, you know, there's things you can do to help, you know, mitigate that happening.
You said that the LA, like you said, this can't be the way the world works.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Because I have a very interesting outlook on LA and the rest of the world as well.
Just with like relationships and people always wanting something from you and everybody looking out for themselves and just business dealings and, you know, people not being truthful.
It's like a cutthroat world out here. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very much so.
By the way, guys, he's hinting at some very good material that my song might be about drops January 31st.
Hey.
I'm releasing on Friday the name of my song. Anyways,
Get the
back
plug.
to you.
Get the plug. Get the plug. Yeah, I mean, without saying anything like too specific, you know, it's just like, I think everybody who comes to LA will have that sentiment after a certain while where like this place is, whew, like buckle up.
But I like a lot of things about LA. I like the pace.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that everyone kind of has a common goal. I like the fact that it's a fun environment. And I do like the fact that everyone's really fucking different. Mm-hmm. Those are things that I like about LA. And I understand too, like, obviously people in our position with connections and whatnot, you gotta be on the lookout. Like, oh, what's your motive? Do you genuinely want to hang out with me, or do you want something from me? I definitely went through a phase of that, and I have had people enter my life and exit my life that have used me and whatnot.
So how do you deal with that, and how do
I deal with it?
Or not deal with it, but how do you, like, going forward, how do you navigate that?
I started not to care.
Okay. Well,
I started to like look at it as like, I don't really care if you benefit off me or if you want to benefit off me, because I'm just, like you said about LA, I'm doing me. Right. I kind of had to remind myself that, like, I moved out to LA for me. Mm-hmm. I didn't move out here to find a girlfriend and fall in love and have a family.
Right.
Like, I moved out here because I wanted to pursue what I'm pursuing, like my dream. So, and I think that once I understood, like, also everybody else around here is like, then I'm like, all right, cool. I'm down to accept the fact that this person's in my life and is probably using me. As long as they're not dragging me down, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, if I pop or if they have something pop, like, that helps me.
Right.
And it is fucked up. But I have groups of friends that I separate. Like, I have my party friends. Mm-hmm. I have my friends that I don't film with. I have my friends that aren't in the entertainment industry that have jobs. Mm-hmm. And then I have like my tight group where it's like my day ones.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I've learned to just like differentiate. Like, okay, these are my business friends. Mm-hmm. Like, we're going to collab on videos when we hang out and work together. These are my friends that I don't need to film shit with and I could tell anything to and say things that I can't say online, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I have these party friends where all we do is get fucked up and do stupid shit. And yeah, that's kind of what
That's fair. Yeah, put them in buckets. That's completely fair.
But I've along the line, I think early on in my vlog days, I for sure got an ego. Thought I was a shit.
I mean, you probably, like, you said you're from Ohio.
Yeah.
Like, you culturally, they could not be any more different. You came here, you popped off. Like, yeah. I mean, it's fair. I think anybody would probably get full of themselves for a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. But I acknowledge that. And I was
That's
like,
good.
Yeah,
You're growing up.
Like, yeah, that's the thing I've learned. Like, I am growing up. But yeah, I try to be a genuine person to everybody. I don't have any motive. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I go to I've been to Chainsmokers' house, I don't know how many times. I've never in my life even pulled out my phone and been like but I'm not tight with them like that. So like, I don't want them to feel like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, I don't want anything from them. They have dope parties. They have a fun ass fucking time. Like, they got hot chicks there and everything. Like, I'm just there having a good ass time.
Yeah.
But I think, at the end of the day, like, if your intentions are right around people, then I think it's chill. But yeah, all LA aside, do you collect anything? I was trying to think of like what's something weird about you that people would be like, that's fucking weird, or like that's dope.
Yeah.
Or like something that no one knows about you.
Something that nobody knows. Well, do I collect things or something that nobody knows about me?
Both.
Okay, geez. I don't think I collect anything.
Except cameras, bro.
Cameras.
Yeah.
But I mean, even that, you buy one and it's like outdated in like a year. So,
right.
No collecting really. I guess something that probably no one really knows about me is I used to pole vault in college, or not college, sorry, in high school. Yeah, for 4 years I pole vaulted.
So random.
That's what I'm saying. You never knew. Now you know. It's the most whack sport in the world.
What's something that you like spend too much money on? Like my thing is Vans, right? If I have a pair of white Vans.
Oh, but like relatively speaking, that's not that much. Like you're not buying. Well, maybe.
Dude, I have.
You have Off-Whites over there, don't you?
Yeah, but I got those for free.
Okay,
I got those on
fair enough.
But like I have hundreds of pairs of Vans.
Okay.
Like that's my guilty like spend money on stupid shit thing.
Gotcha.
Vans.
Probably food.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of money on cameras, obviously, but that's like that doesn't count.
You don't meal prep?
No, I do not.
That's a shock.
I know. Yeah, lots of Whole Foods.
Are you vegan?
No, I'm not. Lots of Erewhon.
Erewhon is the biggest fucking ripoff on planet Earth.
I love it though. I love that ripoff.
Dude, all right, there's this grocery store called Erewhon. It's nowhere spelled backwards. And if you guys watch that's what they're making fun of because he works at this place called whatever Nirvana spelled backwards, and they're making fun of Erewhon.
Gotcha.
In You season 2, that's that reference.
Fair enough.
But it's like $12 for a smoothie.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then I'll go to nice dinners. I spend a lot of money on nice dinners. I just
like dates or just like.
No, I just like to like
indulge.
Yeah, just go out with friends and we'll like.
What's a nice dinner? What are you talking like catch?
No, nothing that crazy. But like like I live in Westwood, so I'll go to like the tavern a lot. Okay, it's you're spending like maybe like $60-$70 on something.
My spot, Saddle Ranch.
Saddle Ranch, yeah.
You ever been there? Dude,
is it good?
Fire.
To check it out.
All right. Well, I got one more thing to talk about, and then we can wrap things up.
All right.
You've been single, man, for 3 years.
I have, yes.
Why? Is that by choice, or you just haven't found the one? Have you tried to date around? What's the deal with you?
Coming in hot now.
Coming in hot.
It's a combination of all the above. I'm not opposed to being necessarily in a relationship if the right person came along. But I've grown a lot, and I am just looking for very, very specific things in a relationship. And I need a girl who's incredibly self-aware of herself and, her emotions. I need a girl who's very communicative. What?
That word's always funny.
Yeah. It's hard to say. Good at communication.
Which is so hard.
Yeah, but like I think communication and being self-aware go hand in hand. Because if you have the ability to understand how you're feeling about something, then you have the ability to articulate that to somebody else. I need those two things, and I need them to be trustworthy. Those are the three things. And I don't know if I've really found that quite yet. So,
do you think that love exists in LA? Given the type of people that live here?
I don't know. I exist here, and like you. How long have you known me for?
A few years.
Have you seen me really change? I've somehow found a way to ground myself in this place, and I'm sure there's a girl out there who's done the same and is waiting for something like I'm waiting for. So hopefully,
I agree. I think it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. Is it a high possibility? Probably not. We might be in the negative odds, but
right. I think it's hard to find that perfect person, I think, here.
Well, there isn't. I don't think there ever is a perfect person. There's compromise, and it's just what you're willing to compromise on.
Isn't that crazy? Here's what I never understood.
Huh.
You date someone, right? Or they meet you. Say I meet someone right now.
Mm-hmm.
She's attracted to who I am.
Right.
But then when we start dating, now I have to compromise. I have to change things about me. But it's like, why should I change who you fell in love with? I don't understand that.
It is interesting. Well, I mean, they probably only have a very narrow window of who you are. And they're probably fall in love with maybe the idea of you. And like the idea of somebody is also a lot different than who they actually are. And probably something that you'll might be dealing with too. And like, I feel like I'm going to have to cross this bridge too at some point, is like, I don't want to meet somebody and then them look at my life and be attracted to me because of that.
Yeah.
You know? That's why I think if you...
Which, I mean, that's always going to happen because I think they're
I know.
attracted to the fact that you've worked to the point where you've gotten to your... You know what I'm saying?
It's like a catch-22.
It's like, that's a part of you, you know? It's like, I'm attracted to that he works hard and he is successful because that shows... Because I think that tells a lot about a person. Not how many followers you have or anything like that, but like what you've accomplished. It shows like I'm attracted to someone that goes to the gym. You know what I'm saying? That's like, all right, I see that this person cares about their body. They care about taking care of themselves. So that's an attraction to me. And I care, like if I see someone posting every day on social media and they're like taking whatever they're taking seriously or passionately, I'm like, that's attractive to me because it's like, damn, all right, they go to the gym, they care about themselves, they also care about their business and they're working their ass off. Like those are attractive qualities to me.
Yeah, that's true. I guess when you put it in that perspective, I understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been very just like standoff. I don't even like anyone that gets close to me. I'm just like, whoa.
I mean, you're also just out of a relationship, so it's like, I mean,
is 1 year just out? Can we?
No, but like you go through the phases of everything, and I felt like this one was like you had a very deep connection with her. So like, you know, give yourself a break. You're still, you know, phasing in and out of it.
I'm in a weird phase right now, guys. I went through a fuckery phase where I was just a total douche, and
happens.
Playing around a lot. But now I'm on a 2-month sobriety.
Love that. Nice.
No alcohol.
You're about to get ripped and be super productive.
Exactly. Music's dropping. Everything's changing. I'm back to the old Mark. That's it for this episode. Give Matt Komo a follow. Look out for his short film. When he's bringing it out, I'll promote it for sure. You're going to like set up like a donation probably, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Are you going to have him buy it? To like have funds go towards Alzheimer's? No,
so I think we're gonna do like a premiere with all the friends actually in Hollywood. We're gonna have the Alzheimer's like association come out. It's gonna be like a pseudo like charity event with the premiere, and then I think I'm gonna do for lack of a better word like a merch line around it. So you buy the merch for the film. All proceeds go to charity.
Cool. So I'm looking forward to that, guys. Check out Matt. Very fucking talented. If you like my videos, then you'll like his way more because he's so much better than me. He actually helped edit my first music video, Does Your Mama Know? He showed me a lot of tricks.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, check out his shit. And if you want to just check out his shit.
Thank you. Thanks.
I can